Chapter 2 The Sociological Ingredients, Gender, Love, and Property. Chapter 2 explores the concept of possession in family and the implications. We may think that families are personal relations, but families are highly regulated by social rules. So, this chapter of the book will emphasize that families reflect a set of social rather than merely biological relationships. The book starts with an explanation of family as a property system. There are three different kinds of property involved in the family. First is the rights of sexual possession. This includes rights of sexual intercourse and prohibitions on intercourse with people outside the family. For example, we have rules in the family with whom regulating with whom we can have sexual intercourse with. For example, incest is mostly illegal and looked down upon in most cultures. Second is economic property rights. These include the material household, family members' income, and labor that family members put into making the household a workable place. Third is intergenerational property rights. These include children's rights to inherit the family's economic property and rights parents have over their children. Examples of sexual possession is incest taboo. Incest taboo restricts sexual intercourse among close relatives. It forces individuals to go outside of their birth families to find sexual partners. As a result, this creates bonding of different families together. According to Levi Strauss, he saw the incest taboo as a political treaty between families in which the network of intermarrying families traded food, aid, and cooperation, as well as marriage partners. In this sense, Claude Levi Strauss gives a rational explanation as to why incest taboo exists, meaning there is a rational reason why people practice incest taboo. There is a political benefit. However, in situations where incest taboo is not beneficial, this rule that we have has not been followed. For example, in a closer look 2.4, Incest in Ancient Egypt, your book will go on to explain why marriage or sexual intercourse between siblings or brothers and sisters has been forbidden in most places, but has been allowed in some cases. Now, incest taboo leads to exogamy. Exogamy means marrying outside of your group or outside of your family. An easy way to remember this is the prefix ex, exit, so outside of the family. Sexual possession can come in two ways. First is unilateral, meaning the woman is the sexual possession, but not vice versa, or bilateral, which is a more egalitarian relationship where both husband and wife are the sexual possessions of each other. Now, love can also be a type of possession. Today in our society, marriage is supposed to be based on love. Love is a form of property, an emotional possession. Now, love is a right that people acquire over each other's affections. Ideally, love property is bilateral, meaning both partners love each other equally. Possessing the emotional rights of love, however, can lead to maneuvering for domination. Loving someone and wanting their love is a form of possessiveness that works much the same as traditional sexual rights. So, as you can see, love as an emotion can have positive and beautiful things, but it can also have negative and um, violent outcomes such as possessiveness and even domestic violence. The book will go on to explain Malinowski's principle of legitimacy. So here's the premise. So far, we've explained that families exist as a result of sexual possession, meaning regulating whom one can have intercourse with. Malinowski argues that this is not true, that families are shaped because of legitimacy of childbearing. So how did Malinowski come up with this principle of legitimacy? Malinowski observed the family habits of Trobriand islanders. He saw that the purpose of the family was not as a regulation of sex, but regulation of childbearing. Although in many societies, sexual activity outside of marriage is not condemned, childbearing outside of wedlock usually is. All societies, according to Malinowski, demand that every child have a sociological father, as an official male link between the child and the community. Thus, Malinowski argues, legitimacy becomes the cornerstone of the family. From the point of view of the property theory, now I'm reading from page 52 of Chapter 2, Malinowski's legitimacy theory is too narrow. It only deals with the third kind of property, which is intergenerational property. A legitimate child is one who is entitled to inherit the family property and its social status in the outside world. Legitimacy, then, is not merely society's way of connecting children with fathers and hence providing them with a link to the social structure. It is also another facet of the family property system. It is not surprising that the highest non-marital birth rates in the world occur in the poorest societies and the lowest economic classes. Those living in slums or shantytowns have little concern for legitimacy because they have no property, and a related fact, women have more autonomy from men. Page 52 of your book. So this means that legitimacy is important for certain groups of people. So this is a major criticism of Malinowski's principle. The authors argue that sexual possession is a better explanation of family because it not only deals with intergenerational property, it also deals with economic property, while Malinowski's principle deals with only one. So if you look at figure 2.1 of your book, page 53, I think this gives a good diagram on how sexual possession works, or how sexual possession links economic and intergenerational property rights. So this is the criticism of Malinowski's principle. Now your book will go on to talk about economic property and household labor, and also economic sexual possession between cohabitors or people living together and not married, single parents, and gay and lesbian couples.